This is Newcap News with Emmett Murphy.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Carrie's with us tonight with a look at sports, and the Lloydminster Bandits have had a great season. Last night they were in action against a pretty weak opponent, though, an easy test for them.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating when I say there was a lot of scoring action last night. Stay tuned for sports. I've got all the highlights.
Excellent. And Elise, when I woke up this morning, there was snow coming down. Are we expecting any more throughout the weekend?
Yeah, lots more snow on the ground today, and we aren't expecting any more, but fingers crossed that it actually does happen. Right now in Lloydminster, we're sitting at -15. We have winds coming in from the east-southeast at 22 kilometers per hour, giving us that wind chill of -25. About the same in all regions, all receiving some snow on and off. Lakeland region is sitting at -15 as well, and -13 in the Battlefords. I'll have more on your local forecast coming up in a few minutes.
More than 36 charges laid against a country musical festival are now being stayed. It comes 2.5 years after a stage collapse at the Big Valley Jamboree killed Lloydminster's Donna Moore.
Oh my God.
Weather experts determined they were a phenomenon known as plow winds.
Oh my God, there are people in there.
But on Alberta's prairie in August 2009, country music fans who survived them described pure terror.
People just started running in every direction and screaming, and people were laying down on the ground.
The huge gusts collapsed the stage at Camrose, Alberta Big Valley Jamboree, killing 35-year-old Donna Moore. As many as 75 others were injured, and it finally led to dozens of occupational health and safety charges leveled against organizers and the promoter. Today, those charges are not going forward.
They have been stayed, meaning that if no new material comes forward or new information comes forward, they will be withdrawn within 1 year.
The allegations centered on whether the stage design had the requisite strength and if workers were put in unsafe conditions. Each of the 33 charges carried a maximum $500,000 penalty. Given the loss of life and ongoing civil litigation, the promoter doesn't call this a victory, but says this goes a long way in restoring the reputation of the Country Music Festival. Last year, Alberta Justice announced the charges on the opening day of the Big Valley Jamboree.
The unfortunate part is we were hit by a devastating storm, and it created a lot of havoc and a lot of stress for us. And some people got hurt, and a lady lost her life, and that's all very unfortunate. And we're going to carry that with us for the rest of our lives.
David Owasik, CTV News.
A civil suit continues in this case. The family of Donna Moore is pursuing a wrongful death claim valued at $5 million. The Britannia-Wilton Fire Department received a rather sizable donation from a local man. Elise Cox has more.
The Britannia-Wilton and Paradise Valley Fire Departments were called out to a house this morning, but the circumstances weren't what they were used to. They were asked to set this house on fire, a donation from Aron, Lundquist's family.
I think it's win-win for both of us. I've got a lot of cleanup ahead of me after this goes, but it's a really good training opportunity for the fire department. I know they really appreciate the ability to come in and work in a two-story house and practice with ladders, practice with their hoses, practice in a winter scenario. So I think it's win-win for both of us.
Aron decided to donate this house because he wants to rebuild a new home for his family. For some family members, Aron says the house carried some sentimental value.
For some of the family that grew up here, I think it's a little bit emotional for them.
It's been over a year since the Britannia-Wilton Fire Department received a house as a donation, so they don't waste any opportunities like this one.
We've got some newer members that have never had the opportunity to be in a building like this before, so they were able to go in and see what the fire is like when you actually get inside a burning building, both for heat and smoke conditions.
The fire department got to do some evolutions with fire behavior, as well as search and rescue training and experience putting out house fires in winter conditions.
Oh, it's amazing. We can do this all day long and never learn enough. It's invaluable for us to do it. We've been trying out our foam capabilities today, and it's been a really great exercise from front to back.
As for Aron, he isn't too upset about getting rid of his old house.
We bought a bag of marshmallows for tonight to roast over the embers.
The fire department is planning on burning the entire house down and conserving the property around so Aron can build his new home. Elise Cox, Newcap News.
The Lloyd X Grounds has played host to the Lloydminster Gun Show for over 2 decades, and the popularity continues to grow each year. As Mike Baden explains, the show is a great place to socialize and show off some of your hardware.
The gun show has been in the border city since 1974, and since then, many changes have occurred.
Most of the changes that we've made have been around the facilities. They've just gotten bigger and better and a little nicer, and the Exhibition Association has been great with what they've done in giving us better facilities to host it in.
Diane Leitala has been going to gun shows for over 50 years and enjoys the atmosphere of each one.
Well, because we have a good show, it's a good time, see lots of people, and can buy and sell stuff, and just generally speaking, have a good time.
It's also a great place for people to network and help their businesses.
Well, it's good for, especially for a local guy like myself, to get out, and we have a lot of local traffic here, and we move a lot of stuff and expose our products a lot, and it's people often come into the shop after and pick things up if we don't have them at the shows.
Big exposure, good crowds, lots of antique firearms, lots of new firearms for new hunting. Just enjoy the show.
The show features a wide variety of items that you can price, buy, or just look at.
There's a little bit of fishing, a little bit of charter work, and some guide service. We have someone from South Africa this year. A lot of antique collectible items, which are very popular now. And of course, there's always the staples of the regular gun sales.
The gun show will continue at the Lloyd X grounds until Sunday night. Mike Baden, Newcap News.
Coming up after the break, one of Lloydminster's most celebrated springtime traditions gears up for action. A long-running springtime tradition is gearing up in the border city. The Kiwanis Lloydminster and District Music Festival has opened registration, hoping to attract around 600 people.
For over 80 years, the Kiwanis Music Festival has been a marquee event in Lloydminster. This year's celebration of local talent will run from April 23rd to May 4th. Competitors range from preschool age to adult. For many, it's their first time performing.
They just build so much confidence getting up and standing in front of the crowd, in front of the adjudicator, and presenting their best possible performance. It just is delightful to watch them do it.
The first week will feature beginner and advanced piano. The second will be band, instrumental, and voice.
Every year you can see that the kids progress in their ability to play.
The Rydell family has been a part of the festival for a number of years. Both the kids and their mom are excited to be in front of judges and crowds. This year, Josh will play Chopsticks and Olivia will perform Teenage Dream.
Super fast song. It's pretty fun.
It's just fun.
It's good competition for them, and it makes them strive to do their pieces better.
Organizers are expecting registration to be on par with levels over the past decade. They're eager to see the benefits the competition has on the performers.
Comments from the adjudicators that they can learn things from, and also the kids will have a different perspective of how they play.
And most of all, the kids get a lot of valuable information from the adjudicators and a thrill from their performance.
There's no set site for the festival this year, but organizers expect to make an announcement in the coming weeks.
Carrie joins us now with a look at sports, and as we mentioned off the top, Lloydminster Bandits having a great season, looking to make their way up the standings, and last night was an easy task for them.
Yeah, they've been sitting in third, and if they have a few more games like they did last night, it's going to be a bit easier to climb up to first, that's for sure. So the Junior B Bandits took on the St. Paul Canadians last night, and what a one-sided affair it was. First period, Michael McKay hands it to Cody Sauka, and he gets the Bandits on the board, 1-0. Then Pierre Baudouin cross pass to Colby Gervais, and the Bandits are up, 2-0. But St. Paul doesn't wait long to try and catch up as Skylar Giroux shoots it past netminder Easton Orborowski, and it's 2-1. 10 minutes left in the second, and Cody Bosch pots one to get the Bandits up by 2 again. But St. Paul answers right back. Number 17, Skylar Giroux again, sneaks in a goal for his second of the game to get the Canadians one away. The Bandits going into the second period have lots more to give though. Chris Romanchuk makes it 4-2. And then Brew Mann gets the Bandits' fifth goal towards the end of the second. Fast forward towards the end of the third, and it's 4 goals later. Yes, 4 goals later. Chris Romanchuk again with the final one. And the Bandits win it, 9-3.
We put a lot of pressure on their goaltender, and 72 shots shows up on that. He played a good game, and defensively we had a couple breakdowns in our own end that you don't like to see. It's tough for the guys to play a hard 60 when you're out playing a team like that.
The Bandits are on the ice again tonight in Thorhild, and they will be taking on the Titans at 8 p.m. The Lloydminster Bobcats were in Grand Prairie last night to take on the Storm. Tanner Labb had the lone goal for the Storm, but Corey Chisholm scored 2 for the Cats, and Kyle Harris, continuing his point streak, also got one. The Bobcats are continuing on the road tonight when they hit up Spruce Grove to take on the Saints. The Bonnyville Pontiacs hosted the Fort McMurray Oil Barons last night. Very low-scoring game for these two teams. Dallas Ansell managed to get the Ponts one, but the Oil were able to capitalize on 2 power plays, credit going to Mike Marianchuk and Harrison Hendricks for a final score of 2-1. The Lloydminster Border Kings are facing off against the Sylvan Lake Admirals tonight at the Civic Center. Border Kings are still sitting comfortably in first place while the Admirals are in third. And on to some volleyball. The Lakeland Rustlers men's and women's teams both had games last night, taking on Augustana at home. The ladies, who sit in 10th place, played hard and came out on top of Augustana, who is sitting in last place in the division with 0 points. The Rustlers are now at 10 points after a win of 3-0. And the men as well, who are sitting a little lower in 13th, second last place, also played a successful game though against the lads of Augustana, who sit above them in 9th place. They may be 8 points ahead, but Lakeland came out with the win, a final score of 3-2. And both teams are in action again tonight against Augustana and then have some time off until February 3rd. And in basketball, both men's and women's teams taken on Augustana as well, but on their home turf. The ladies unfortunately had a tough time and lost 94-73, but the first place men's team came out with yet another win, 119-65. They continue to sit in first place with 26 points. That's all the time I have for sports. Stay tuned for more news after the break. Learning to skate is one thing most Canadians learn to do at a young age, and today the Service Centre was host to some of Lloydminster's youngest skaters. The Lloydminster Skating Club held a Can Skate Fun Meet today. The event was for Can Skate stages 1 to 7. These youngsters took to the ice and performed for family, friends, and coaches, some of them for the first time. Some dressed in fancy figure skating attire and gave their best shot at an on-ice dance routine, while others concentrated on making their twists and turns around those pylons without falling.